Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to a awesome MorningCoach.com member profile. I'm really excited to have John Cunningham with me today. John, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, JB. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. And by looking at your setting right now, I'm just pumped to be talking to you. Looks
Uh,
like you got a little outdoor action going on there.
yeah, yeah. Usually when I do Skypes, I try to sit in the backyard. It's a little bit different than looking at a bare wall.
Exactly. Totally cool. Totally cool. Well, John, tell us a little bit about you, will you? Can you share with the community and everybody let us know who you are?
Okay, yeah. So, my name's John Cunningham. I've been a member of Morning Coach for about 18 months now. I started out like a lot of people with your free podcast and kind of working towards my own personal development. And I decided at the beginning of 2012, yeah, there's time to kind of up my game. So on January 1st, I signed up
Ah, I
and
love it.
said, okay, let's roll this year.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, how's things going? What are you doing? What do you want to share? Kind of, can you fill us in on that?
Sure, yeah. So, up until about 2 months ago, I lived in Japan.
Okay.
Uh, and one of my goals was to move back to the States. And my son wanted to come back as well. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see what we can do. And just kept on working on my development and networking and looking for jobs. And like suddenly things fell into place. And like, here I am, I'm back home.
I love
So
it. I love it.
yeah, it's been really good.
And that's how it kind of works. Sometimes everybody, you want it to happen like now, but then it
Yeah,
takes a little bit of time. And I think a lot of people lose patience. Can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, you got to be
sure.
pretty patient to get that done, right? It just didn't
Yeah,
happen for you.
yeah, exactly. Because my son was getting ready to start junior high school, and he's like, "Dad, I want to move back." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know if it's going to happen. You have to plan." And so, it didn't work out, and so we said, "Okay, well, let's just keep working on this plan." And so we worked it, and I'm like, "Well, maybe it's not time yet. If things don't happen, it's just not time. There's something else you have to add to your toolbox." Or there's something else that you need to learn, or there's another experience that you need to have to get you to that stage. So I think, like you said, when people want things to happen now, well, they are happening now, but it's just going a little bit slower than you want it to go.
Exactly. It's just kind of the psychological time. It's actually happening. And what's amazing in that, and I think back when I did my MBA and writing my first book and some of the things that did take so much time that I thought were going to take time, I
Yeah,
look back and it's like, wow, it really wasn't that. I don't remember it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm
yeah,
here already. Isn't it funny? Like you're here.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Is that if you're moving in that direction, right, you're doing it, and like you said about psychological time, we don't really know what the whole path is that lies ahead. But if you're moving down that road, you're going to get there.
I
You just
love
got to
it.
be patient and just, keep with it.
Exactly. And day by day, that's the key. Kind of what we believe in, right? 1% a day.
Exactly. At first I said 1% a day, that's ridiculous. That could never happen. And then looking back, you're like, it is, and you can see exponential growth over time. And it's like, that's amazing that you just keep with it and you don't give up on yourself and you learn new things. And, you look back, 3 months or 6 months or a year later, you're like, man, that's a lot of growth I've made, and it's just because you keep at it every day. And that's, I think, the benefit of what's happening at Morning Coach is that every day you have a chance to make some development, right?
And
Whether you are listening to the Coach Cast and being part of the community, or if you're taking a day off and just like getting your head in the right place so you can move forward, it's happening,
and and
right? So it's awesome.
and that's I really feel that's so important. And even if you take a month off or 2 months, which some people do, it happens. Life takes over. You come back, you get back on the horse, and you keep moving forward. Of course, some of that exponential growth won't happen as fast because now you kind of backslid a little bit, but
Yeah,
that's all right. Sometimes you go 5, 10 steps backwards to go one step forward, and that can really help you out.
exactly.
Awesome, awesome. Well, what would you share, kind of your experience for somebody maybe that's a member or not a member, some of the things they should do to kind of to have more energy or to be more positive. Do you have some tips you'd like to share?
Yeah, a couple things. One is I think you say self love is the first love, right? And that's what my wife says. My wife always says, "I love me. How's everything else going? I don't care. I love me." Right? And if you aren't in that place where you feel really comfortable with yourself, right, then it's really hard to move forward because it's always someone else you're doing it for, and you're sacrificing a little bit of yourself every day. So I think that's one thing, is to understand that, that love yourself,
I love it.
right? And if you aren't comfortable with yourself, like, look at some of the things you need to do, whether it's re-examining your core values or understanding what it is that you like or that makes you tick. You've really got to be involved in that. And once you get that clear, then you can kind of move towards the place you want to be.
I
So
love
that's
it.
the thing I would share.
Great. Well, that's awesome. Well, no, those are very important things. I mean, and a lot of people don't love themselves. I mean, and they have a hard time even understanding that concept. They think it's egoic when it's actually totally opposite of egoic. Because if you're happy, other people are going to be happy. If you're miserable, you're going to make other people miserable. And it's really interesting that whole dynamic. You know, one of the things we do at Morning Coach is it's very deep, and sometimes it takes a while for some of the concepts to go, oh, that does make sense.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot, like I think you said, a lot of times I think people think it's selfish, but to me, and this is what I've learned over the last, year and a half, is that you can't give your best if you don't know what's inside of you. And that's kind of where that whole self-love has to come from, is what you're made of and what you can give. And if you're just giving just to give, then you're not really able to put all your potential out there. And that's a key.
100%. And codependency is a really bad thing. We have a lot of people that are codependent on so many things. And, a big thing in Morning Coach is independency. We want people to be strong. And, the best relationship is two independent people, two people that are full of love for themselves. And then they can truly love other beings. And it's just awesome. That's when things get really good. And we're really in a society of codependency, whether it's on the government or, fear, or on their job or on whatever it is. I mean, people are very codependent, and we really got to break that away. And freedom is such an awesome thing. Of course, as you know, we talk a lot about that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, last year my wife and my daughter went down to southern Japan because my daughter wanted to go to school there in a really small school. It's like 42 kids in the whole school. And so, like, I talk to family and friends. They say, well, how's your family? And I'm like, oh, they're good. Half of us are here in Tokyo and half of us are in southern Japan. Like, that must be so hard. I'm like, well, no, it's not, because everyone's doing exactly what they want to do and everyone's growing. And that everyone can do that's awesome. That's freaking awesome that everyone's growing independently. And when everyone comes to get back together again, they're so strong.
I love it. Yeah, and that's the key. And then people really can experience wonderful
sweet.
things. That's awesome. People can experience wonderful things. Really awesome things. Well, John, we could talk all day. I love this. What are some final closing comments you'd like to leave with the community? Some things that you'd like to share, or people that aren't in the community,
Oh, yeah. I think that something I'd like to share is that that you got to believe in yourself and you've got to invest in yourself. Right? Take some time to really go out and learn more about what you like and what you're good at, and then give those things back. By giving more is when you get more. So so make sure that what you're giving is your best day after day, and in every situation. And by doing that, you're going to find that your life is so happy.
I love it. Well, John, I appreciate you. I mean, you've been active in the community. We're going through some technological struggles. We really just launched a new site in January. So, we're building the new mobile and we're getting there. And I appreciate you getting involved. I always see in the community welcoming new people and helping people. And as you know, that's my vision. My vision is, this thing started off as a coach cast to give people energy, which I think provides tremendous value, and it really can change lives. And now if we can bring hundreds and thousands of people together and help each other. You're trying to get back here at that time. If we had people that could rise up the community to help you, give your energy. That's the stuff for me that's really life changing, and that's why I've kind of shifted my focus to a movement. And I really appreciate your contribution in that area, because you've stepped up to the plate and been a leader, and you've helped guide some new people. Because as you know, I mean, most of the people in here are really cool. And cool people kind of have that filter. Like, there's so much garbage out there.
Right.
Sometimes it's like, what is this? You know? And I think once people understand, it's like, this is just a group of good people that are really working on themselves and just experiencing life at a high level. And I really appreciate your contribution to that.
Great. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah. I think that, you get what you give. So, Once you start to incorporate some ideas and some tools, and you present a lot of tools every week. There's more tools than anyone can use. Then it's time to start using those, right? Because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
Right? You know that from your training, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, you get it. Oh, I get that idea. So just go out and try it. I think the community is a great place to go out and try to use some of those tools for interacting with people that we get on a regular basis. And that's how you're going to get better at it. And that's how you're going to really feel your value, is by giving.
I love it, John. I love it. Well, everybody, thank you so much, John. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. No problem. Thank you. And, for everybody, another awesome spotlight with John here. I just can't appreciate it enough. This is about the community. It's about you. It's about all of us. And that's what we're doing here at morningcoach.com. So thanks, everybody. Bye. Have a great day, everybody.
Take care. Yeah, have a good day.
Bye.